What's up, everybody? It is Omega from Omega's Gaming. Hopefully, you guys are having a good day. Today, we are going back to the Magic Templar for PvP. Um, so far, my Magic Templar videos have been doing the best. So I decided to put together the build that I've been using on most of my classes now that I have it finally golded out. Um, in my opinion, for a Magic class that can use dual wield, this is absolutely the best setup in the game. It does not use a monster set, but it basically has unlimited sustain and damage out the ass. So let's go ahead and get into what we're doing. So here's our unbuff stats: 39k max magicka, 1232 recovery, 17 maximum health, 2934 spell damage, and this is unbuffed. 12k resistance, 8k with 8,000 spell pen, which is pretty good. We are rocking the Apprentice, and we're doing the max health, max magicka food. Now, what we are wearing is we're running 5 Lich on our back bar. So that's a infused restoration staff of the Lich. I have a deals magic damage and restores 461 magicka. That's going to help with our recovery, and you'll see why we don't give a shit about this 1232. This is going to make a difference right here. So, and then we have 2 rings of the Lich, okay, both spell damage, and then we have a waist, and then we have a chest. The chest I have infused, and we're also running Bloodthorn. I have the hat, the gloves, legs, and boots. I would like to have the Bloodthorn breeches infused, but it's fine. We have 1,000 crit resist, which I don't really give a shit about crit resist, to tell you the truth. Also a Bloodthorn necklace, so all max spell damage. So our front bar, we have 2 Swords of the Torix Pact. Nirnhoned got buffed, so one is Nirnhoned, and then one is sharpened to give us our 8k spell penetration. So it's 5 Bloodthorn on the front bar, 5 Lich on the back bar, and then we have our Kina shoulder. We are in 6 light, 1 medium. I like the Divines because it makes a huge difference on your Mundus Stone now. I would actually like, head, chest, legs to be infused, and then the rest Divines. That would put you over 3k unbuffed spell damage, which would be ridiculous. But I think 2934 is really high, especially now. You just have so much spell damage, and you're never really going to run out of magicka. We are a Argonian for a couple reasons. Healing done and healing received, so whenever I use my Breath of Life for healing, I get 5% more. A little bit more health, which is nice with a poison disease resistance. And right here is really where it's at. You get the 3% increase max magicka. Now, I know you could have like 41, 42,000 if you went high elf and a little bit more recovery, but you don't necessarily need it. And the biggest thing is when you drink a potion, you store 4k health, magic, and stamina. Since we are an Argonian, we are running Essence of Immovability pots. So movability for 13 seconds, it gives you health, 8k health, and then 7k magicka, which ended up being 8, 9, 10, 12k of each. So huge. I mean, this would almost heal you to full. I mean, that's a lot of health. And then we're actually on our back bar. I don't have my poisons as of right now, but we were using poisons on the back bar. But you can do poisons, or you can just leave this restore magicka enchant. That one will suffice. It works really well. Now on our swords, we have a flame damage and we have an oblivion damage. Oblivion damage is unblockable. They're going to take that 1596 regardless. And then the flame damage will proc relatively often. So on our bars, the way we're running this is kind of how I run my Magic Nightblade. I don't just have a defense bar and an attack bar. They are both the same. One is ranged and one is up close. So on my back bar, I have Degeneration. I like this better than Structured Entropy because I don't need the 5% health because I have 9% as an Argonian. So I use this because my light and heavy attacks have a chance to heal me for 100% of the damage done, 105%. And I am going to do heavy attacks and light attacks on this bar, so that's going to be good. Vampire's Bane. Vampire's Bane is going to give me that extra critical. It's a really strong dot, reduces their movement speed, and it also gives you your minor spell damage buff. So you're going to get your major here, and then you're going to get your minor here. So that's the 20% and 5%. It doesn't say it in it, but it's actually in the passive. Where is it at? Let's see. Here you go. Casting a Dawn's Wrath ability grants minor sorcery for you and your group for 20 seconds, which is increase your spell damage by 5%. So 25%. So that's why we're going to degeneration into a Vampire's Bane. It's going to make a big difference. And then we have Dark Flare. Now, if you notice, this is 15k, and we are on our back bar. That's because unbuffed, our spell damage on our back bar is 2368 on our resto bar. Most people don't have that much damage with dual wield. Okay, this setup has crazy regen and insane spell damage. All right, so we're gonna have that, and then we have Harness Magic and Healing Ward. Now, lately, I haven't really been using Harness Magic that much. I've been just running Healing Ward, so this is kind of a flex spot. You can use Backlash here, which is really nice on those tanky targets. You put this on, start spamming this, and your Vampire's Bane, it's all going to add up to quite a bit. You also have your Piercing Javelin, which is a stun. So if you have this, you can Dark Flare and then hit him with this. So if you come here and put this in, you basically Dark Flare, and while it's in the air, you throw this. It'll hit him at the same time, and that has a good chance of actually killing somebody. It's very powerful, especially if you structured entropy, hit this, throw. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Or you can use the Backlash. I mean, it's really up to you on how you want to run it. Some people use Eclipse to reflect damage. It's not really part of how I work, but you can do that. I mean, the Magic Templar has so much in its kit. It's just so good. I do like having this on this bar because it is a ranged attack that's fast, that you can kind of spam. It's instant. And I don't have anything on this bar that really is super fast. And of course, we're running the broke ultimate of the game. If you pop this and this, you're just not going to die. It's impossible for you to die at that point. It's very, very broken. I'm actually kind of pissed about this, but it is what it is. So on my main attack bar, I have Toppling Charge. I choose this because it always stuns, knocks them off balance, and interrupts them. So no matter what they're doing, you're going to stop that shit. It hits pretty hard, 7.9. I mean, it crits, for like a 10, 11k smack, so it's ridiculous. Unbuffed, this says 1201 damage times 140%, hits hard as shit, and heals you. Breath of Life says 11k because of how high my spell damage is. I also have the 39 Max Magicka, so it's really good. Inner Light to bring up my Max Magicka and my crit. And then the Destruction Beam of Death. Not as good as it once was, but with this much damage and high Magicka, it's good. And then I have Ice Comet. Ice Comet hits harder than the other one, and I'm not really too worried about generating ultimate for the most part. If you cast this and Toppling Charge, when this knocks down and stuns them, they can't block this. So that's kind of how I run this combo, is I will Structured Entropy, cast my Ice Comet so that it buffs it, and then I will Toppling Charge in and start sweeping. Really does a crazy amount of damage. I mean, it's crazy. Let's go ahead and look at our buff stats. Get everything buffed up. Back bar, 2960, 3667. Gives us 1332, 16k Dark Flares, 12k Dots, 21k Ice Comet. I mean, huge numbers. It's ridiculous. Go ahead and get rid of these guys. So, and like I said, what I just did. Let's see, let's get this guy over here. So, I will structure, Vampire's Bane. Call this. Throw the Ice Comet, or throw the Javelin. It'll hit at the same time. So here, fling. If they're close, it's a little bit different, but when they're far away, that Javelin will knock them down. So if you are fighting sorcerers who like to sit behind their mines, which is annoying as shit, you can put a big dot on them and then stun them and knock the shit out of them. And it's fantastic. Let's see. What else can we go over? Let's go over our CP. CP is relatively standard. I do 10% in Elfborn because you also get 10% for being a high elf. So you don't have to put as much in here. So I basically have 20% increased in my crit damage, which is fantastic. Everything you do is considered magic damage except for the one flame ability you have. So 12% increase on that. This is what gets us to that 8k spell penetration, which is super important. I'm a huge fan of having to have this. Shields are so strong. I mean, even though they don't last as long, I mean, people are putting up real big shields, especially sorcerers, and this kind of gets rid of that. And Master at Arms for your direct damage abilities. Thaumaturge is also a possibility if you don't like using it here. You can put it here, and this will buff your jabs even more because your jabs are a direct damage, magic, and a damage over time. So you have a triple buff on that. I'm not sure whether it's Master at Arms or Thaumaturge that buffs it more, but you guys can kind of check that out. I might do a little bit of testing on that, but 51 into Ironclad for that 19%. Direct damage is so strong right now. This is mandatory. 11 into Thick Skin just for dot damage. Everyone's throwing dots on. 10% on both of my defenses. 72 on Bastion because I do normally rock one shield. So I want that health shield to just be as strong as I possibly can. I don't like spamming Breath of Life. It's too expensive, and I don't want to run out of resources, even though it is hard to run out of resources. Siphoner for the light and heavy attack to decrease enemies' health, magic, and stamina recovery by 8.1%. It's not a lot, but it helps. And then whenever I do the cost reduction poisons, it's 30%, so it ends up being like 38%. 19% break free. CC is the name of the game, so it's very important. 10% more magic recovery, 10% more regen when I heavy attack, and 19% for that. So, like I said, back bar is going to be for range engagements. You can light attack to get your stuff back. Let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll waste some die. Alright, I want to waste some magic. Let's get down past that 30% mark. Swap bars. Hello? Okay, there we go. So 2965 Magicka recovery. That's going to be plenty, because when with the Lich proc, it could be more if I was a high elf. It would probably be like 31 or 32. But you honestly don't need too much more than that. I mean, your abilities are kind of expensive, but they're not crazy expensive. So it's nothing that you should really be too concerned about. This does super damage. If you knock somebody down, usually like 2 puncturing sweeps. I've hit like 9.5k puncturing sweeps, and then obviously you have the executed doom. So all this stuff hits super hard. Hopefully you guys like this setup. This is my favorite way to run magic classes now. My other build for this was really good, but this does way more damage and has way more recovery. If you don't have Lich, you can substitute by doing Bloodthorn, 3 on the body, or 3 necklaces, and then you can do like Bloodthorn and Shacklebreaker or Alteration Mastery. Seducers is really good. That's what I used to run before. But this is just really hard to run out because I have decent recovery, but this gives me recovery. I get recovery anytime I do a direct damage attack, which is pretty much everything. So it just really works on this class. So I hope you guys like it. Please try it out and tell me what you think. Hopefully, um, it works as well for you guys as it does for me. And if you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I do answer pretty much every single comment that's on there. Um, so hopefully, I will hear from you guys soon. All right, enjoy.